Guys, let's try this again. And welcome to Home, a unique horror adventure by Benjamin. Turn up sound, turn off lights, check and check. So just getting my comment feed up on my phone here. Sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna turn up my volume some more actually. Alright, here we go. All I remember at that point was finding myself alone. Oh, my head. Where was I? It was so dark. There was something by my feet. A flashlight. Dot dot dot. Okay, a little strange that the echoes from the footsteps end as soon as you stop, but aside from that, with pretty much anything retro style, pixel art, I love it. I've done some myself, but not anything quite as in-depth as I've seen in what little time I've actually played this game so far. This is, again, right from the beginning. Good door sound. And my controller is vibrating. I'm not sure if that should creep me out or make me feel dirty. That house. Where was I? Comforting. There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? I didn't recognize his face. He was still kind of warm. You touched him? Yeah, I'm just gonna feel up this corpse right here. It's all good, guys. Oh yeah, that's good. Ugh. Friggin' creepy ass cat. That's one thing I don't like in horror games, cats. If you've watched my Guacamelee streams, then you know at this point that cats are the devil. Just saying. The desk had a computer and some papers on it in a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but did I open the drawer? Hell yeah, I opened the drawer. Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo. Looked like a store of some kind. Why did this look so familiar? I really shouldn't have been going through this stuff, getting my fingerprints everywhere. That's kind of suspicious. Oh, look. There's blood all over the wall. Blood on the wall. It smelled fresh and sickening. You know, personal experience, fresh blood doesn't really have much of a scent to it unless you got a really keen nose. Yeah, whatever. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man, I had to get out of there. I don't see any blood on you. You're fine, dude. Maybe a little on your collar, although that's more than likely just shading or possibly a tie. If that man died in the hallway, what was the blood doing there? Don't you mean here? And no, I'm not trying to make fun of the writing or anything. I'm actually liking it quite a bit. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg, I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. Yes, let's leave the scene of the crime. Aw, it's a little mouse stuck in a trap. thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic but exhausted. Did I free it? I get the feeling I'm gonna have to play this multiple times. You know what? No, I did not free it. And I can't select. Okay. Irreversible choices. I like that. A collection of rusty tools. These looked like they'd seen a lot of use and were caked in damp-smelling dirt. Why weren't they in a shed? This was an odd place to keep yard tools. What would they have been used for in here? Digging secret tunnels? Playing with a flashlight? I found a picture of a couple. It looked like it had been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I push the switch? Hell yeah, I pushed that switch. It depressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. Something must have opened somewhere. Well, yeah. It's pretty much a given. Oh, now I feel bad. The mouse was dead. It looked like the cat had got to it. Well, now I really feel bad. I gotta get hunting. Seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. There were scribbles of all kinds on random scraps of paper, and notes about some kind of water tower. Did he mean the one by the old train yard? How do you know so much about this area? You know what? That seals it. He's the killer. He's crazy. He's a psycho. I mean, look at him. Would you trust this guy? Waving a flashlight around like a maniac? Clearly the killer. Oh, God. Game is already screwing with me. An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. Okay, so they were drunks. The smell was turning my stomach. How long had this been here rotting? The man upstairs didn't look like he'd been dead a long time. Wait, what the hell is that? A black and white photo. Looked like the man upstairs and his wife, I guessed. There was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? Well, if there's no reason to keep it, yeah. I slipped the photo into my pocket. Maybe this would help me find some answers. Wait, so what the hell was all that creaking just now? It was friggin' creepy. Okay, this game is definitely screwing with me. I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I don't know if you guys are using headphones or whatever, but damn, the ambience is good. I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. Well, that explains the dirty tools. Had I been sleepwalking again? Was that how I got to the house? Oh, God. The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. I'm pretty sure you can move it. Doesn't look that heavy. What's in here? The bathroom was spotless. Everything had been wiped to a sheen. I wondered if it was the man's wife who did the cleaning, or him. What kind of question is that to ask? Is that a shotgun? Anything else in here? There was a photo development tray lying on the floor. Okay. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they were pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like treetops. It seemed odd that the tray had been left there, considering how clean the rest of the bathroom was. Really, nothing else? That's it? Okay. Oh, God! I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't care what you're playing. Graphics don't make a game scary. It's all about how they set things up, and that just freaked me the hell out. The door was taped up and seemed to be stuck. By the smell, I guessed it led to the kitchen. I gave the door a hard shove, and to my surprise, it cracked open. Oh, I was hoping it wouldn't. There were sheets of paper all over the kitchen table. It looked like a series of names were written down, but they were too smudged to read. I could only make out a few of the notes. Honestly, the guy that wrote this has got damn good grammar. Keycard. Locker. Last one, I promise. Didn't make much sense at the time. What do you mean at the time? The smell of old dishes and moldy food was dizzying. Okay, nothing else in here. Okay. Oh. Wait, what's with the cage? Oh god, is this a... Okay, no, it's not a baby room. Or a nursery, I mean. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Maybe I had found a way out. I must have moved it, right? You know what, I'm gonna say no. I left it alone, but I couldn't think of another option. Let's see, you know, I want to see if anything else in the house changes when you refuse something like that. Anything, anywhere? Yes, no, maybe so? Okay, I am hearing voices. I am hearing a voice. I'm not just imagining that. I know I'm hearing a voice. Okay. Okay. Yes, I moved the box. I heaved the box forward, and it finally gave. Alright. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? No. Now I'm gonna check upstairs one more time. Something has to have changed. Maybe the cat's up there again? Something like that? And what did the button do? I haven't found anything, so far as I know, that relates to that button yet. There's got to be something. I really don't like how the light gradually builds when you enter a room. That really freaks me out. The man's face looked like the man in the photo I had found. God. And what's with these scratch marks on the wall? Okay. Man, I just realized I can't see my current playtime either. On air, but for how long have I been on air? I don't know how to check that. There's nothing else on this guy. Okay. as I climbed down the ladder. I looked again at the photo I found in the house. The couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. I wondered where the wife was. My leg was in terrible shape, but I had to get out. Footprints in the dirt. Looked like more than one kind and a lot of traffic. Places all over were marked on the map of town. The industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. The guy upstairs must have done this, but what was his interest in the water tower? Some of the markings matched scribbles I saw on the bookshelf upstairs. Newspaper clippings from the local paper. They were all about murders in town over the last few years. Wait. There were photos. Photos of our house. What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. A work table, covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun. I hated guns. I didn't take it, did I? Yes, I did. I tucked the small handgun into my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring, and my controller is vibrating again. Why did I take the gun? Because I'm probably going to get attacked. It was so dark down there, and the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? The desk looked old and was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old, faded paper, covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out, and illegible notes were written beside them in faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. Heather... something... Cheryl, probably. Eric... something... and... something. None of it made any sense to me. I feel like I should write those notes down. There looked to be bones half dug into the ground, and the remains looked old. The faded clothes that stuck up amongst the dirt looked familiar. They looked like the clothes that woman was wearing in the photo I found. Was this the man's wife? I wondered, what would I have found if I had dug deeper? Does that mean I can go back and grab the shovel now? I'm doing that. I'm gonna see if I can get the shovel. Those boxes would have allowed me to climb up the ladder again, but I didn't want to go back up there. Not with that body. All that blood. Oh, screw you. Fine. I want that shovel. It wouldn't let me take it, though. So I guess you can't dig down deeper. Some kind of homemade rack slung together with poorly cut wooden rope. It was caked with old blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? The smell in that room was like old grease and rot. I wasn't getting any closer to finding anything useful. Well, we're going anyway. Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. The slight fumes that still emanated from the cans made me dizzy. Great, now he's huffing fumes. Ugh. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom. Something wet. That place was getting worse all the time. I knew I had to keep moving. No, we're gonna sit right here. Alright. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing there? If I was scared before, I was terrified now. Why were there photos of our house there, in these clothes? Was that why I was there? I checked my back pocket and realized my wallet was missing. Did I come to that house, or did somebody bring me? Okay, so I've got... Oh, God. I remember noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. Well, screw that. I'm not going down there. What the hell is that? There was rope hanging there. Oh, sweet. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Hell yeah. Maybe the rope would make that broken ladder easier to descend. Yeah. Okay. I had the rope now. There must have been a use for it around somewhere. Ugh. Okay. The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb down? Yeah, why not? I could hear a faint... My friggin' controller, every time it vibrates, it scares the shit out of me. I could hear a faint hum, and the smell from before started to get worse. Oh, great. The ladder was too high to reach. I must have tried to find a way out from where I was. Okay. He's using past tense for everything, because this is all something that he's already experienced, and this is a reminiscence, or, he's reminiscing over the events. Although I suppose reminisce would not be a very good term for this, considering it's all messed up. A bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out. Danger due to cave-in. Okay. I wanted nothing more than to get out of there. Yeah, well, duh. Oh, that's a pleasant sound. Okay. I could still feel a faint impression of the rope I had slid down as I pressed against the heavy metal door. It was probably for the best that I hadn't jumped. The ache in my leg was bad enough as it was. You know what, screw it. Next time, I'm jumping down the ladder. If I could have, though, I would have run straight out of these awful tunnels. Who would keep such a place? At least, I thought, I had found that old handgun. It seemed to work, and from the smell of it, it had been used already. I kept the gun in my pocket. It seemed a familiar weight there. An exposed ventilation shaft. Maybe someone crawled through there? It was so high up. It must have been a sore landing. Guess how you busted your leg. My leg ached just thinking about it. Yeah. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. Odd. There was similar dirt on my own shoes. Let's go up here first. Disgusting. It was a mess of filthy garbage bags. There were rips and tears in most of the bags. What looked like an old videotape was sticking out. Did I take the tape? Yeah, we took the tape. I wasn't sure what I hoped to discover with the tape, but I took it anyway. I did not want to keep digging through this mess. I could hear a faint trickling sound, like water. What was that? There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water, which smelled disgusting. I knew I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. Or maybe we just took a swim. Come on, let's go for a dive. A kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? You know what, yeah, we already grabbed a friggin' handgun, so why not? I slipped the knife in my boot since I had the gun in my pocket. Did I really need all this? I think so. I think it'd be a good idea to be well armed, at the very least. Okie doke. Here we go. Oh, God. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. Well, let's open it up. Okay, I don't like that sound. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. Through the dust I could see handprints from previous use, probably from whoever worked in these sewers. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? No. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I turned it. Okay, there we go. This one goes down. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yes. Valve was still active. Did I turn it again? Yeah. Three times. And once. There we go. God, I feel like they're just gonna have something jump out and friggin' kill me. Is there really no way to open the door? Looked like the water drained out of the grate in the wall. There was a small metal key left floating in a shallow pool of rancid water. Did I take it? Yeah, that's probably the key to the door. It was so odd-shaped, I had no idea what it might open. Well, let's find out if it's for the door. I want to know what the hell's in there. Bugger's got me curious. Okay, clearly not for that. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? Faded paper was yellow and dusty, but there it had... It was yellow and dusty, but there it had obviously been wiped off recently. I'd say then for that, but still. Oh wait, the door was locked. I could see a faint light within. I'm not sure I want to open any door that may contain another person right now. Oh, goody, another dead guy. Excuse me. I found another dead body, a sewer worker. By the wounds all over his face and body, I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly, and I picked up the knife that did it. It was a keyring sticking out of the man's pocket. Hell yeah, I took it. I thought about the knife I had found with some disgust as I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. I was almost worried he was going to grab me. Is he? I was feeling even more sick from seeing another dead man. I didn't want to get any more blood on my clothes. There was a security camera in the room. There must have been a way to see what had happened. Maybe the VHS tape I found could be useful. And that's what I was thinking. Let's go open some doors. I used the keyring to unlock the door. The shelf full of security tapes was strictly organized, though covered in dust. Looked like the tape I found was the one that was missing from the shelf. There was a dusty VCR on the security desk. I wondered what was on that VHS tape I found. Did I play the tape? Hell yeah. Oh no. The video showed a man right there in the sewers, being attacked. The tape looked fuzzy and stretched, like somebody had tampered with it. It looked like there could have been two men. I couldn't stand to watch that video again. Creepy. Okay, so what's behind door number 2? I tried a bunch of the keys on the keyring I had found in the sewer, and one of them seemed to fit. The hell is that? I don't like that static. A collection of stale liqueur bottles covered the floor. Liqueur. The wall was littered with dozens of old, faded papers. Whoever did this was obsessed with some local murders. According to some of the clippings, bodies had been found in ravines, in the forest, and in one case, dumped in the back of an abandoned truck. I couldn't be sure, but I thought some of these same articles had also been pasted up back in those tunnels. A faded receipt was half trampled on the floor. It was from the local train station and was for 2 tickets. I didn't know what use it could be, but did I keep the receipt? Sure. I neatly folded the soiled receipt and slipped it into my front pocket. Oh my God. You bastards. You bastard developers. And my controller won't stop friggin' vibrating now. It's going constantly. That troubles me. And my light just turned pink. Does he have some kind of sanity meter? Why would I need that gun or that knife before the end? Both weighed me down and aggravated my leg as I climbed up that old ladder. The thought of that videotape still gave me chills. Who was it that didn't want to be seen? Was it the same person that hid all those clippings away in that locked room? Suddenly, the awful smell of that sewer gave way to a pine-scented blast of fresh air. Seriously, my light is friggin' pink on my controller right now, and it's vibrating constantly. I think this guy's going insane. I don't like the fact that it's still vibrating. Maybe it's just a bug. An old ladder leading up to an ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended so I could climb it. Did I extend the ladder? Hell yeah. I popped the latch and brought the ladder down. Oh, friggin' bats. In a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was a beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? Yeah, sure. Maybe it's got cash. I slid the filthy wallet into my back pocket. I noticed I didn't contain any kind of gun permit. In fact, it didn't contain any cards or ID of any kind. I thought I should recover my credit card and driver's license at least. From the railing, I could see over the woods and down to the entrance to the sewers. Had I come through here before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. It was getting cool up there, and I shivered with an uneasy sense of what was to come. How did I get home from here? The train. Did I put this up here? Or was somebody else carrying it? That's one messed up water tower. That's for damn sure. Okay, the fact that my light changed color and my controller is still vibrating really freaks me out. What does that say? And those eyes in the background are really creeping me out. Okay, we'll go in here. I tried the little key I had fished out of the murky puddle in the sewers. It fit, and I heaved open the rusty door. The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had become strangely chilly. This is a pretty creepy game, all things considered, to be completely honest. Okay. The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure. Also, it's got a leak. It's right there. An old map encased in glass hung on the wall. It was the train routes connected to that old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course, the map I found in those tunnels had similar locations marked, and the notes I found on the other man's bookshelf. His notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing coming back here? The sorry condition of that place seemed sad somehow, but also ominous. And I'm back outside. The old train was ripped open and hanging from a shred of metal, as well as the broken fence. And hanging from a shred of metal, as well as the broken fence, was a dark-stained patch of cloth. It looked synthetic, like some kind of outerwear. Inside the train's shell, I could see a few faint impacts, like wounds. Could they have been bullet marks? Was somebody shot there? The ground was well worn, though I couldn't really make anything out. I realized I was touching the gun I found as I thought. Wow. I was getting colder out there, and I had to keep moving. Yeah, keep running from your psycho-killing memories here, buddy. Okay, the friggin' vibrations are starting to really freak me out right now. It's not stopping. An old ticket booth that looked fairly ruined. Inside the ticket window were sheets of paper and... Wait, what were these? Train receipts? I thought the receipt I had picked up might match these. But of course not. This station had been closed for years. The ticket must have been for the newer station that opened up on the other side of town after this one was abandoned. However, I noticed a series of fresher-looking paper covered in tiny notes, scribbles, and diagrams. It looked like someone had been leafing through the old ledgers looking for something. A name, perhaps? Okay, it just started vibrating a little more. I'm not liking this. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm liking the game. This is great atmosphere, but I'm not liking the fact that my controller is vibrating so much right now. It's kind of starting to freak me out. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on that map I had seen. Whoever was poking around in those tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here the sign pointed out various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. Oh, left or right? Go this one first. Trampled into the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and was surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Did I take back my credit card? Hell yeah! I pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. Oh God. Through the fence I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. Probably. Freaking sounds. Okay, now my controller stopped vibrating all of a sudden. That makes me even more worried. There was a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm, and a few embers still burned at the bottom. Was someone else out here in these woods? Why did they abandon their campsite? 2 folding camping chairs were on the ground. One was knocked over. There were a couple cans of beer spilled on the ground. What a waste of good beer. Whoever was here left this place in a hurry. But why? The cheap dome tent slept 2 people. I shone my flashlight inside and could see 10 bedrolls, 2 backpacks, and a cooler. I felt like if I kept rooting through the campsite, someone would walk in on me. Okay. Is somebody gonna walk in on me? I've got a flashlight. Back off. Oh, right. Outhouse. Did I come through the center? I came through the center. Friggin' controller. There was some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait, there was a notebook there too. Did I read it? Hell yeah. Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was page after worn page of names and lists. None of it made much sense. The newest page contained several names. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, sorry, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, and Rachel. Oh shit. And if you read the first letters of the names, it comes out as how could you? Rachel. Her name was last on the list and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Cheryl, Heather, and Rose had also been crossed out, but these marks looked older and more faded. Okay, yeah, I'm just a friggin' psycho killer remembering killing my wife and a bunch of other, I guess, old friends, maybe, something like that. Oh, great, somebody peed all over the ground. No. Don't look. No. Yes. The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. There wasn't much in the way of clean water there, but the sink did work. A musty wooden plank propped up the stall door. It didn't really seem useful. Did I bother to take it? Yeah. I wasn't sure why, but I took the plank. Boo. Boo. No? Really? Seems like a good place for it. Okay. High flies. The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. This must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. Yeah, let's go. I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Okay. I'm sure I missed something. Through the dense trees, I could finally start to see some light. I must have been at the edge of the forest, though I wasn't sure where the path ahead of me led. I could almost feel the cryptic notebook in my pocket as I tried to think about what it could mean. And where were the campers who had abandoned their site? Would I meet them too? Though the path of me ahead was less dense, I still felt guarded and wary. Who knew what was ahead? Indeed. In we go. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. Oh, that's comforting. Let's go in. Hello? Oh, God. It didn't even make a sound. Just being a puss. I found the body of a security guard, just doing his job, no doubt. His face was covered with blood from some kind of head wound. I wondered, was this flashlight his? Again, a little bit of an odd thing to think. I saw the blunt wound on the guard's head and looked again at the flashlight I was carrying. Oh no, please. Oh, hello. Dug into the ground was a cracked old watch. First my wallet, and now this. Did I retrieve my watch? Yes, I did. The watch was useless, but I put it on my wrist anyway. I wished I could remember. Why was all my stuff missing? The boo. Boogity boo. Oh, I can see the city out in the distance. Oh, that's not a good door sound. Oh my fuck's sake. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. Old work clothes had been picked through, and a few photos and notes had been ripped off the door and spread around. The door was locked shut, and there was a little electronic box under the handle. A sign was pasted at the front that said, "Danger, closed for repairs." There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, excuse me, snaking off to other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. Well, duh. The door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box beside it. Oh yeah, I should have seen that. Okay, here we go. Let's go up. Up, up, up. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Norman took over a general store after the factory closed. He, Rachel, and I would get lunch every now and then. Rachel liked him because he seemed more positive, despite the setback. I don't think I could say the same about me. Okay, so he lost his job because the factory shut down and went crazy. Power panel. Looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Hell yeah, I pushed the switch. I'm gonna push it again. I'm gonna push it again. The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. Oh. It was shut tight. There was a rusty-looking card slot on the side. Can I use my credit card? Our old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. Looked like some beer bottles had been used on the table recently. I wondered, was that guard using this as a break room of his own? Oh yes, that's very pleasant. Another door boarded up this time. Okay. This was Norman's locker. The door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked there. My head ached, and I recalled the last time Norman, Rachel, and I all had lunch together. Rachel seemed so much more at ease when we all hung out. It's because she probably knew you were a psycho killer. A utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Hell yeah, I took that hammer. As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. Probably because you're the one that boarded up that door. He slammed Norman's head into the locker and then put his body in there. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Hell yeah, I took it. I slipped the key card into my pocket. Oh, cool. Alright, power's been restored. I'm not sure I like that. I struck with the hammer and the old wooden... That sounded like metal being scraped across something. Oh god. I struck with the hammer. The old wooden boards came apart easily. After I had removed the planks, I left the hammer on the floor. This was my locker, there in the factory. It stank of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. It looked like it had been torn up. I thought I had taken that picture home when the factory closed. Well, clearly you're insane. This room was nothing but bad memories. I just heard somebody laugh or cough or something. There was a mess of empty booze bottles. I wondered if that man in the house had something to do with this. He sure had a lot of alcohol at his place. Oh god, that friggin' sound. Okay. Stop. Wait a minute. Wasn't the magnetic door right here? I've got the power on, right? The keycard I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Did I use the keycard? Hell yeah, I used that keycard. Okay. There was some kind of ventilation hatch there. It looked like I could jump to the room below. My leg hurt enough as it was, but I couldn't see another option. Did I jump? Yes. Oh, God. Oh, man. My leg hurt like hell. There was a crumpled up letter on the floor. It had been scratched out heavily and it was hard to make out. Did I try to read the letter? Yes. Most of the letter was violently scratched out with what looked to be a ballpoint pen. All I could make out was, need to. Just don't. Drinking. Need. Norman. Who was Norman writing to? Okay, he was clearly writing a letter to you to stop drinking, and you got so drunk you killed him. I stepped out of the factory, glad to be rid of its smell, of its memories. I couldn't stop thinking about that room with the bottles in it. Was that guard I found outside really drinking up there? What about Norman? And who had rooted through all those lockers? I couldn't tell where I was as I looked around, but I figured I needed to get to a road, get my bearings. Maybe Norman could help. His store wasn't that far from the factory, from the turnoff to the factory, if I remembered correctly. Okay. Stop. I don't like those sounds. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food and slick black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Did I take it back? Hell yeah! I cleaned the card off as best I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card, and now this. I tucked the card into my wallet, next to my credit card. Oh God, it's friggin' vibrating again. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. I had entered Norman's place. This was back of the story ran. It was oddly quiet except for the faint sound of a television. When you said Norman's place, I thought you meant the store he ran, not his friggin' house. The entrance to the front of the store, oh, it is the store, was locked from the inside. It looked like I couldn't just pop it open. It needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. Brilliant. Comforting. Vibrating. It's fucking pulsing now. It's not just vibrating, it's pulsing. Like a heartbeat. What the hell? One of Rachel's old autumn coats hung on the rack. That was Norman's bedroom, wasn't it? What was this doing there? Oh my God. She got sick of this guy drinking and went out and slept with Norman. A speck of something dark and wet stained one of the sleeves. Yeah, blood. Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items I didn't think were legal here. One of the slots on the rack was empty. The gun I had found seemed to match the others there. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit there. Did I place it back in the cabinet? You know what? Yes. I'm getting rid of it. I carefully pushed the piece back in place and felt a great burden lifted. A close call? What the hell do you mean I just got a trophy called the close call if it didn't pop up for everybody. What do you mean a close call? What was so dangerous about carrying the handgun? I'm gonna get killed, aren't I? The TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. I couldn't make out what was on the screen, but that glow just gave me the chills. Oh no, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my coworker and one of the few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been shot trying to get up. His eyes were wide with shock, though they were already drying. Norman, what was Rachel doing here? Why did you have her coat? Norman, maybe you deserved better. You probably did. Yeah, I closed his eyes. I closed his eyelids down, shuddering as I did so. I wasn't sure if I'm gonna fix that. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give him peace, or if I just couldn't stand to think anymore about what was going on. I hope to hell Rachel had nothing to do with that mess. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. I've never been to Norman's place before. At least, I didn't remember ever doing so. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I? Yes, I did. I found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and pocketed it. There were takeout containers and food scraps. Looked like Norman was eating for 2. Yep, you drank yourself into a fucking coma. Went out, killed all the people that you hated because you looked at them as a problem. Oh, there's an attic. I bet I could pick that lock downstairs with the hairpin, though. Let me try that first, before I go to the attic. I used the hairpin to pick the lock. I knew it. Please tell me I can go back, though. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Usually Rachel stopped by after work if we needed anything, and how do you think she got? All cozy with Norman. You were a drunk bastard by the end of work. Apparently. What was this? It looked like a pull chain hanging down from the ceiling. I wondered where it would lead. Hell yes, I pulled that chain. I gave the chain a single tug, and the simple folding ladder to the attic popped down. Everybody's got skeletons in their attic. There was a large cardboard box that hadn't been sealed. Hell yeah, I opened it. I opened up the cardboard box, and wasn't entirely surprised by what I saw. There were more of Rachel's things, more of my wife's clothes, photos, shoes, even that old radio I gave her. Why, Rachel? What were you doing here with Norman? I just couldn't believe it. My head ached with everything that was running through it. Sounds like my fucking life. Anyway, back down we go. I wonder what happens if you don't pick anything up or inspect anything aside from what you have to. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. I wondered if someone had robbed the place before killing Norman upstairs. Yes, you probably did. The icebox seemed to have been unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. Only half melted? What was the matter, Norman? Cheated on your hydro bills, too? There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. It had been weeks since I'd last seen Norman, and finding him that way still left me cold. Thinking of him slumped up against that chair only cemented my reassurance in getting rid of that gun. Am I gonna get caught at the end of this? It looked like someone had taken that piece from his store, but why was it in those tunnels? As I stepped outside, I recalled that dusty old box of clothes in Norman's attic. I felt like I had only discovered more questions, no answers. But I was close to home. It was time to find out the truth. Oh my god, is Rachel going to be at the house, either dead or otherwise? And if I kept the gun, is he going to shoot Rachel? Wrong gate. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. How can you be so sure? You're drunk. Ew. Okay. I like how they made him limp. That's cool. The neighborhood's local post box. A letter was sticking out as if someone hadn't pushed it out, or pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but hell yeah, I looked at that letter. The envelope was addressed to Norman. There was no return address, but the handwriting looked familiar. I took a deep breath and tore open the package. Oh Lord, Norman, I'm sending this to you in a letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did, well, it was wrong. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but he is my husband and your friend. I need some time to sort this out, away from you both. I'm going away for a while. I'm going to tell him, Norman, so don't you think that, good freaking grief. So don't you think you can hold that against me? Maybe we'll work it out. I'm not sure I even want to, but he deserves at least that much. Goodbye. Oh, damn. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. I had the wrong gate. This one was locked. Third time's the charm. Especially with blood on the wall. Oh, Lord. You killed her when you... Oh my god, he killed his friggin' wife when she told him. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. More blood. I held my breath, I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or sometime before? The table was clean. It hadn't been used any time recently. The door to the basement. It was locked. Where did I put the damned key? There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. Did I open it? Yes. I ripped the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? The front door was locked from inside. I couldn't go out, though I needed to see if Rachel was here. Oh, I couldn't go out, though. I needed to see if Rachel was here. Oh, she's here all right, in a bloody mess. Oh, right first. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. I like old-fashioned keys and keyholes. They're cool. I had found the last missing piece from my wallet. The old photo of Rachel, and I stared back. Oh, the old photo of Rachel and I stared back at me, reminding me of better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Did I keep it anyway? Might as well. I replaced the photo in my wallet, feeling like I had got part of my life back. Still, the image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Oh, sweet. Another achievement. Hi, he's got a PS4 down there. Ha! Ha! That's what I'm playing on. Our television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then it was too late. Rachel was pretty angry about that, I realized. Upstairs we go. Oh boy. Our hallway mirror had been smashed, its pieces scattered around the floor. I couldn't really make myself out anymore. I wasn't sure I wanted to. And of course, more blood. Our sink, which needed to be replaced. One of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't got around to fixing it yet. That old house was charming for sure, but it wasn't always easy. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. It seemed impractical at times, but it was part of what made that house home. Oh, Lord. My laptop had been left on and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key at the top drawer, or in the top drawer of my desk. Did I take it? Probably the basement key. The laptop was warm. It had been running for a while. Oh boy. Okay. The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that I looked more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books as I did. One book in particular seemed a bit odd. I remembered owning it, but not that edition. My wife's, Rachel's, suitcase was sitting on the bed. It was closed, but I had a feeling what was in it. Did I open it? Might as well. Inside Rachel's suitcase were a few days' worth of clothes, some personal effects, and a train ticket. As I stared at the ticket, I could feel myself flush with anger and resentment. The date and time matched the receipt I had found. Oh, goody. Rachel, why? Were you really going to run away with Norman? Was I really such a monster? You fucking piece of shit. The letter that I read earlier clearly stated, why the fuck is my controller red now? Oh my god, that's cool. The color on the PS4 controller light shows his mood. That's cool. I kind of figured that much, but that's awesome. That's a nice touch. She wasn't running away with Norman. The letter clearly stated that she was just... Oh, fuck. I unlocked the basement door. Sorry for cursing, it's just, this kind of story, aside from all the murder, is really kind of close to something I've experienced, so it kind of hits me a little hard. Again, not the murder, but, you know, just certain bits and pieces. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. I couldn't even remember our last Christmas. The garage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take the key? Hell yeah. I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. There were old clothes, tools, and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. We had way too much junk. Looked like there was plaster and an old trowel in here too. I had put up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck and the drywall was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through if I found something heavy enough. Like maybe a lawn gnome or an old Santa thingy. No way I was going to walk away from this now. Oh Lord. Table, okay, no. What, oh man, what can I use to break the door? Or the wall, I guess. Okay. Well, this is clearly where the game ends. I mean, that's the title. Home. The grimy key I had found in the basement unlocked the door. Okay. I forgot this was locked. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? No, you went on a friggin' drunken rampage. 'Cause you didn't think. Damn it. Crowbar. There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I take the crowbar? Yes, you did. I lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. Okay. Well, guess why that wall in the basement was hastily closed up. That's where he put the body. Oh, Lord. Here we go. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? Yes, I did. With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down there? Was she okay? Don't look. Well, I'm gonna look. Oh, God. Oh, God. A filthy-looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful, and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile, to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I'd come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen, when I looked under the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? Oh my God, wait, what? What? You know what? No, you didn't find Rachel there. She's fucking alive. The rags were wet, matted, covered in dirt and grime, but inside that tattered mess was no sign of my beloved wife. Rachel wasn't there. I looked around in confusion, trying to figure out what to do next. If she wasn't there, where was she? What had I been searching for this entire time? I remembered the look on Rachel's face when I came home. Didn't I? Then the awful realization hit me right in the gut. I had been looking at this the wrong way, hadn't I? This is what you've been trying to tell me all along, isn't it? I couldn't find Rachel there, and I won't find her anywhere else, because she was never there at all, was she? I stumbled back upstairs, the pain in my leg just a dull ache now, and sat down in my bedroom. My mind was spinning, and the ache I felt before was near crippling. Finally, I could no longer fight the exhaustion, and as I tried to grab hold of something that would make sense of all this, I must have drifted off. Oh God, no. Oh, okay. I thought they were gonna friggin' jump scare me. I like to remember things my own way. I got a trophy. I guess those books were actually all mine then. It was my wallet with its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or someone else did. Maybe I was just sleepwalking again, or maybe someone stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Excuse me. Was I at those places before? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna make you fucking crazy. No, there was no way that was me out there. I woke up in that house, remember? I wasn't off in any damn forest. It was the photo of the other man and his wife that I found in that house. Were those really his wife's remains in those tunnels? It certainly seemed so. What did I think? Did the other man murder his wife and bury her in those tunnels? Yes. The sick bastard must have. What else did that mean? There were some questionable things in those tunnels. What else was he wrapped up in? Oh my god, the first house you're in. Same layout. Exactly same layout, just reversed. Flipped 180 degrees horizontally. He was literally going through his own little nightmarish hell. Silent Hill style. Oh my gosh. That's why you can potentially find Rachel in the basement. Oh my god. In the dirty, faded glass, I looked like nothing more than a faint shadow. I used to tell myself that Rachel was the one who wanted to keep the tub. When was the last time I showered? It smelled awful, so take a shower. Oh my gosh. This game is just one big friggin' mindfuck. It was the keycard I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? Yeah, sure. It must have been him. He must have been using the old locker room. The laptop had finally run out of power. How long had it been left running? Wow, this game's a fucking mess of psychology. In a good way. I mean, really, in a good way. It's intriguing, at the very least. My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. It used a digital passcode lock, but I didn't have the code. Maybe I had left it somewhere. 8 names, written alongside those odd marks in different colors, were printed in that notebook. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose. I recalled the names I saw scratched out on that old desk, deep within those musty tunnels. Was the man in that house really up to something? Yeah, so what happened to Rachel's name? Moreover, where's the code to that safe? I want to open that. Badly. I want to know what's in there. It was the letter I had taken from the post box. It had gotten a bit wet in the rain. But who wrote that letter then? Who was Norman seeing? Oh no, Norman. If I was wrong about Rachel, then what about him? Did I do that horrible thing to him? Yes, you did. I must have, but why? Did we fight, or was I tricked into thinking he was sneaking around with Rachel? What was happening to me? You're batshit insane. Oh my gosh, even new TV isn't new. I had that old TV for so long, I didn't know if I could ever replace it. It was a piece of junk, but I couldn't really afford anything newer. And his PS4's gone. Okay. It seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. No, I'm going in the kitchen. How many breakfasts had I eaten there, completely alone? Come to think of it, I didn't think I even had guests over. Oh boy. Okay, basement it is. Can't inspect any of that stuff again. If I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? Yes. I took the knife and kept it firmly in my... Oh my god, no! No. You're... No. No. I must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard anyway. Okay, he's gonna do what I think he's gonna do, isn't he? Oh, Lord. Okay, well, let's check the back. The wall was cracked and pitted. I was told by an inspector the basement had been partially filled in before I bought the house. But by the look of that wall, I was going to need to fix the foundation. There wasn't even another fucking room in the basement. Oh my god. Oh boy. The pile of mail on the floor I now saw was addressed to me. Bills, credit card offers, a letter from the bank, they were all addressed to me. I knew I needed to escape that nightmare, but what about the knife I still carried? I wondered, even if I left, would it really be over? So did I leave that house forever? Not yet. There's obviously something else in the house. There's something else somewhere. Okay, how about the bathroom? There was only one set of toiletries by the sink. The old cloth-footed bathtub hadn't been cleared nearly enough. Still, it would probably do. Oh my god! You showed... I regret going to the fucking bathroom now. You showed me the truth. And speaking of the bathroom, I need to go to the bathroom myself. I wasn't sure there was any reason to keep on going. So what do you think? Shouldn't I just end this misery? Oh my god. You know, he's obviously batshit crazy. I don't want to sound like I condone or suggest suicide. I'm gonna go for an absolutely different ending on my next playthrough. Something less depressing, but given the fact that I already made him look like a psychopath, oh my god. Since I had arrived in town, things had been difficult. Working in the plant, though, had been good for me. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. Drinking was probably just a way to deal with that. It was almost as if I was trying to beat my brain at its own game. Things stopped making sense sometime after that, and my memories of what happened are still in a flux. I suppose that was when Rachel came along. This night had been the worst of my entire life. Would it even be possible to bounce back from everything that had happened? Everything I'd seen? You know, in a way, I almost wish I hadn't even woken up tonight. It would have spared me a lot of pain. That man I had found in the old house had killed his wife. I was just sure of it. Just as sure as you killed mine. What? I was sure of it, just as sure as you killed mine. This is the game talking to the player, by the way. When they do that. After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. The security tape I had watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like two people. But who was it that was attacked? You know, I didn't know who had taken my wallet, but I knew it wasn't me, who'd been all over town, at Norman's or in that forest. I don't care what you think. I may be mad, but it wasn't me. There were plenty of other people to blame for this. Why didn't you start thinking about them instead? That forest, though, was no escape either. That notebook, especially, left me troubled. I remembered seeing a similar list on that desk back in the tunnels. Who were the girls mentioned there? I suspected there was more to those woods than I knew, though I had no intention of going back. It was clear, at least, that Norman had been going back to the old plant. Had he been the one to seal up that room? Was he drinking up there, alone? I thought, perhaps, he had something to do with that dead guard. But now you've got me all mixed up. I'm not even sure what makes sense anymore. I had to catch my breath to take it all in. At each point until the factory, things had only gotten worse. Then going to Norman's store, that's where the confusion and doubt started to set in. That's when my perspective on all this really started to change. Norman, you bastard. I'd killed you, and it was clear to me now why. You had taken Rachel from me. You were going to take her away altogether. In the end, you got what you deserved. But as painful as all of that was, oh no, I couldn't bear to think about it again. After all I had seen and done, finally coming home was supposed to be the end of this entire ordeal. I had no idea, though, that it was only the beginning. When I had first stepped through the kitchen door, the silence had been unnerving. But to think that I went through all of that, completely unaware of what I would discover. Had I killed Norman, thinking that he and, well, that there was something going on? Everything that I held dear and true was now spinning around me. I had nothing to ground me, nothing to give me purpose, or even the faintest hope of reason. Without Rachel, without what I thought was Rachel, I was lost forever. I drew a warm bath in the old tub and undressed. I wondered how many times I'd done this before, and thought about what we're about to do now. Oh no, don't look away. It's actually really easy, really peaceful. Oh my God. See, I just keep my arms in the water as I make the cuts. It stings, but I can't really feel anything after that. Good God, this is like they're trying to fucking promote suicide just from the way it's written. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I feel awful for going for this option. I apologize to everybody and anybody watching. This is sickening. Really, I'm just getting tired now. I have to thank you. This hasn't been easy. But you were right. This was the only way. No, there's a million options. Suicide is never the answer, and honestly, I wish I had never picked that option at all. Oh my God. Oh my. Oh my God. I'm sorry. That was... Oh my God. Home is dedicated to my wife Nancy. Watch your back. Wow. Okay, I think I can quite easily say that the person that made this game is, in fact, themselves insane. Or demented to some degree here. Oh my God. That was... Oh my God. Well, sorry for such a depressing ending here, but, thanks everybody for watching. I'll try and do something a little more upbeat on the next run, but, I don't think I'm going to be touching this game again for a little while here. Oh my God. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next playthrough. Bye.